Hi everyone, my name is Richard Santoro, and I welcome you to Third and Zen, the YouTube channel where every week I'm sharing a spiritual message to nourish ourselves, heart, mind, body, and soul. Okay, today I want to talk about filmmaker, director Kevin Smith. I want to have just a little bit more reaction to the 2024 presidential election, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Jesus. So, Kevin Smith, famed director, part of the 1990s revolution of independent filmmakers with Paul Thomas Anderson and Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez and others. Directed Mallrats and Clerks and Dogma, which is a fantastic movie and sadly becomes more relevant every day when we talk about religion and Christianity a little bit. But Kevin Smith is a great filmmaker. Well, I like Kevin Smith as a director, and I liked his earlier movies, but I'm not a huge fan of his movies. You know, not like I am other directors, Wes Anderson and others. I like Kevin Smith as a human being. He is great. He's thoughtful and funny and genuine and insightful and educational and down to earth and sincere. And he's just a great communicator and a really enjoyable person to listen to, regardless of the topic he's talking about. Movies or life or family or comic books or religion or anything. He's a wonderful communicator and a sincere and genuine individual. And his video that he did about a year ago, give or take, on mental health, he went through his own experience, his own personal experience. He had a mental health issue, and his video on mental health was one of the best insights and communications on mental health and how trauma works within the body. It's something that everybody should watch and educate ourselves on, whether we're someone who deals with stuff ourselves or whether we're someone who needs an understanding of what others deal with. I promise you, it's one of the best videos I've ever seen. And as someone who's trained on that stuff and has had to deal with it both for myself and for others, it's fantastic. I'll post a link. So this is all a long way to say that Kevin Smith, what he has to say and how he says it and where it's coming from is absolutely fantastic. It really is a blessing and a gem on this planet and in society. But Kevin Smith is also ironically known, the movie character he's played that he's best known for is Silent Bob. Jay and Silent Bob, that duo, and he plays Silent Bob, a completely silent character. So here we have this wonderful human being who has so much to say and says it so thoughtfully and insightfully and educationally, is also known for Silent Bob, for being silent. And this is a reminder, let's bring this in here for a moment. It's a reminder that sometimes silence is best. And I'm not just talking about the silence where we ourselves are silent for a meditative experience in an arboretum or a walk or when we pray or when we have a moment of silence. I'm talking about when we interact with other people, face to face, in a group, online, social media, wherever our voice can be heard. Sometimes it's best for us to just be silent, to not say a word, to let other voices fill the room, fill the space, and just listen. Sometimes it's best for us to be silent and let others speak. Sometimes it's best for us to be silent and not let our thoughts and our opinions and our perspectives and our everything fill the room and fill the space. Sometimes it's best for us to be silent and let others have their moment, have their say. Sometimes it's best for us to be silent and just listen, let other voices fill the room, and we just listen and learn. You know, post-2024 United States presidential election, I've noticed some stuff, and over the last decade, we've all noticed some stuff. And I guess this is a part of a little bit more of a reaction to it. You know, I am a white, male, heterosexual, Christian American. A lot of voices there from those demographics, from my demographic. But maybe in this moment, post-2024 presidential election, with how things went, maybe being a white male, heterosexual Christian American, maybe it's best for me to be silent and just listen. I do my best, as many of us do, but not everybody does their best, to understand that I don't know the lived experience. And try as I might, I don't fully know the needs and problems that other people who don't fall into my demographics face. I don't know my blind spots. I think I am sincere and thoughtful and proceeding on good faith and trying my best, but I don't know my blind spots. I don't know areas where I do have privilege, where I have lived a privilege, being a white, male, heterosexual Christian American. I have blind spots. So right now and at various times, sometimes it's best for me to just be silent, to let other voices fill the room, to listen, to learn, to understand, to grow, to support, to help. It is not up to me or any man to tell women how it is with their experience, either their experience over the last 100 years, their experience over the last several generations, their experience in the last 50 years, their experience in the last decade, their experience in the last week and change since the election. It's not up to me to tell women how it is with their experience. It's best for me to be silent and listen. Let those voices fill the room and take up the space, and just listen and learn. And likewise, it's not up to me as a white male heterosexual Christian American to tell people of other races or other ethnicities or sexual orientations or gender identities, or just in general other minorities or outcasts or demographic groups that are struggling because of their particular demographic and for other reasons. It's not up to me as the white male heterosexual Christian American to tell these people, this is how it is for you. This is how it's been for you. This is how it currently is. This is what you need. This is what you're experiencing. This is the reality of your situation. This is what should be done for you and by you, and et cetera, et cetera. Who am I as a white male Christian heterosexual American? I don't know those experiences. I don't know my blind spots. I don't know what it's like. Who am I to speak? My demographic and my demographics, plural, have held the voice and the room and the power for all of it, really. And that clearly did not change a week ago. If anything, it only got enhanced and reinforced and empowered even more. So it's best for me and others of my demographic to be silent, to listen, to learn, to let others be that voice that fills the room and fills the space, to say, this is what it's like. Say, this is what we need. Say, this is what needs to be done. Sometimes it's best, like Silent Bob, to just be silent, to listen, to learn, to let others be the voice that fills the room, that fills the space, that fills social media, that fills the airwaves. I can't tell a woman or women what it's like to be them. Best for me to just shut up and learn and listen and be silent, like Kevin Smith, like Silent Bob. And that's okay. We can do that. It doesn't mean we have to be silent forever and on all things and at all times. But maybe just a little bit more, right? Maybe just a lot bit more. And many of us white, male, heterosexual Christian Americans are, as mentioned, Christians. So maybe we take a page from his book and realize that, not just like Silent Bob, but like Jesus, it's okay to be silent at times. It's okay to let other voices fill the room. It's okay to let other voices be the ones that are heard, and let those voices be the ones that are sharing what the experiences are like. And it's okay, when we examine Jesus in the Gospels, to let women be the voice. Go take a look at the Gospel of John, chapter 11, I believe, if memory serves. And I'm going to paraphrase some stuff because I don't have the Bible in front of me. But there's that moment in chapter 11, I think. We'll land on that, chapter 11, where Jesus gets word that Lazarus is sick. Now, Lazarus, you have Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, siblings, 3 siblings. And it says that Jesus loved Lazarus. Jesus loved all of them. These were 3 very important people to him. Jesus gets word that Lazarus is sick, and it's not good. But rather than go there and go right to them, it says he spends a couple of days waiting. And then he gets there, and Lazarus has already passed. He did get word of that before he left. And by the time Jesus gets there, not only was it a couple of days before Lazarus died, but now we're like 4 days into Lazarus being dead. And he encounters Martha and Mary individually. And rather than tell them like it is, I did a video on this similarly, but in a different lane, and I'll try to remember to post the link here. But rather than get into it, Jesus is for the most part silent. He lets their voices be the voices that are heard. He lets their voices be the ones that fill the room. He lets their voices be the ones that say, this is this experience. This is what this is like. This is what we're feeling. This is what you played a part in how we feel. Now, Jesus, there is an engagement, but Jesus lets them drive the conversation. He knows to be silent and let these women share their voices, their lived experience, their feelings, their needs, and how they feel and see his role in all of this. He didn't tell them what it was like. They told him. He listened. He asked a question or two, and he engaged them, and there was fruit to be found. But the questions he asked was more pointed towards himself and wanting to gain their insight on that, rather than saying, well, why didn't you do this? Or why don't you act like that? No, he let them drive the conversation. He listened. He let their voices be the dominant voice in the room, per se. That's it. Otherwise, he was silent. He listened. He learned. He let their voices fill the room. Like Silent Bob, he lowered himself. He lowered his voice. We can do that. Men, Christians, white individuals, white men, heterosexual men, all the more powerful demographics, traditionally and currently, and even more so now. Men, be silent for a bit. Let women's voices and the voices of others fill the room for a bit. Listen, learn. Let them be heard. Again, same for all the other demographics that are power under, not power over. The other demographics that the power structure has put on the bottom and has recently very, very much affirmed. For me, as a white male, heterosexual, Christian American man, I don't get to tell any of them what it's like to be them. I don't get to tell them what they need. I don't get to tell them how it is. I don't get to tell them how they feel or how they should feel, what they should or shouldn't do better or not do, and so on down the line. I get to be silent. I get to hear other voices, and I get to let other voices fill the room. I get to listen. I get to learn. And hopefully I get to grow and evolve and have some illumination on my blind spots in the areas where I can do better. And if they so choose, the areas where I can help, the areas where I can support. We can be silent. Jesus had a lot to say, and it was awesome stuff. But Jesus was also silent. He listened. He learned. He let other voices, particularly Martha and Mary's voices, be the voices that filled the room. We can be like Jesus. Kevin Smith has a lot to say, and it is awesome. Love what he has to say. But then there's Silent Bob. We can be Silent Bob. We can do that. So let's be silent. Let's listen. Let's learn. Let's hopefully grow. Let's let other voices fill the room and be heard. And as Jesus would say, let those who have ears hear. Thanks be to God. Amen. Okay, my friends, I want to thank you for stopping by the channel. I want to thank you for checking out today's video. I know it's been a wonky week and change. It's been a wonky last few months, crazy last year and years and decade, and that's all on top of life. So I hope you're taking the time, the energy, the effort, the patience, the care to care for yourself, heart, mind, body, and soul in whatever way that you need. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're caring for yourself, and I wish you nothing but peace, love, fellowship with God as you go forward on your journey. I know a lot of people are struggling and challenged right now, so if you feel like sharing this with anybody that you think ought to hear it or could benefit from hearing it in any way, shape, or form, please feel free to share. I'd love that. But either way, thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. I love you. Have a great day. Have a great week. Ciao, ciao.